Hello, my loves. It is the week before our first classes start, and I've been wanting to do a video about these classes for weeks. And today's the day. I was having my breakfast and I was like, uh-oh. Stop what you're doing and go get the camera, and off we go. We are at a critical junction of self-empowerment and awakening like never before. You feel this, you know this, right? These classes are here to walk you through the journey to extremely empower yourself in your journey of leaving fear, leaving 3D consciousness, and the journey upward in the rise of consciousness from 3D energy to 50 to 6 to 7 to 8. There is no end. And you are at such a critical junction, right? We all are, of leaving everything we have known that we don't even know we're in because it feels normal. When you surrender out of it to see it for what it is, you'll realize, holy shit, that wasn't my energy the whole time. All the fear and the lack and the cycling and wounding and the continuation of figuring things out and looking and in a very specific kind of like mm, hypnotized way, even though we woke up in it. The energies are so mm, habitual and known that it creates the same cycles even though you woke up, right? It creates this almost like this feeling of like, I can't, with all the healing I've done, I still can't shift myself foundationally out, right? That's the feeling. You are at a junction now where it is time to shift out. It is time to be that awakened self that happened whenever your initial awakening happened, right? The truth of who you are came out and continues to come forward and forward and forward and forward. And as you know, it brings everything that is not that energy up for reconciliation, completion, and healing. But when we have been doing it in the 3D energy, there's power and control and all this kind of sleepy energy that amplifies and enhances what you're healing and what you're walking away from and what you're completing. Again, we don't even know we're in it until we're out. And then we're like, holy shit. I had no idea to the degree that I was in there. And it's all perfect. And I mean that like for real. So you had a time in your soul history and in this life to be in that. And now it's time not to be. It's time to make the transition out into heart-based foundational energy versus fear-based foundational energy. So we could think of like we're standing in a spot, and from the spot that we stand in is where we do everything from. We live our lives, we have relationships, right? We eat, we sleep, we work. And we've been standing so subtly in fear-based consciousness for our whole lives that we got really used to it. It's like a veil that is so thin in a way that at first, let's say, you'd go, oh, this feels weird. It feels like sleepy and like Everything feels kind of muted. But the conscious mind, we could say, doesn't remember when it started. All you know is that you've been in it, right? It's time to take the veil away. It's time to now wake up in your awakening and begin to leave where you've been standing and living your life from there, to stand in a completely different foundational energy and live your life from there. So we can think of the fifth dimensional. So this is 3D consciousness, and this is the fifth dimension, and sixth and seventh and eighth, and keeps going up. The fifth dimension is like the first real foundational stop along the way of higher consciousness out of 3D. And so even though we woke up, we've still been in the third dimensional energy of that kind of, let's just say, this kind of sleepy, muted experience that just keeps, it wants to keep healing happening. It wants to keep all the things happening and happening and happening. And it's not that we don't continue our healing, but we continue our healing from the heart-based foundation of who we are. So it's going to be very, very different. And what is really healing? Okay, healing is the 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 past you that made choices to have very specific experiences that the present you no longer wants to have. And so these two things must reconcile. That's really what healing is. And all the things that happened in between. Your choice to have a certain experience, your choice to no longer have that experience, and everything that happened in between. Healing is awareness in alchemy. Awareness transforms. Awareness and transformation. So how you do healing now must change because you no longer will be standing in that fear-based, muted energy, right? So these classes were created to profoundly support us walking you through the journey out of 3D into 5D, really recognizing what that 3D energy is, where that power and control energy sits and how it worked on you, right? To really deeply understand it for yourself of what you're leaving and what you're moving into, to have your own direct visceral experiences of what you're up to right now, and to walk you forward as a group in our classes with the support of each one of you guys being in your power, choosing your power, no matter what, uplifts everyone to continue going and going and going and rising in consciousness and understanding the old ways that don't work for us anymore and how to let those go for real, foundationally, through awareness, through understanding their signatures, their energy signatures, right? And how they have felt. And for you to be able to feel the truth within yourself so deeply that you can say no when it comes up. Oh, I know what this is, right? So this isn't about healing any longer, or not just about healing. This is about awareness. This is about discernment. This is about you literally leaving fear-based energy into heart-based energy and what that really means. So both of these classes powerfully support you to powerfully support yourself and have your own direct experiences of what this quote, higher, new truth way of living is. Have the discernment of what it was so you can navigate your journey out of fear-based energy into truth and heart-based energy. And again, when we all are together as a group, the fire within each of us to be foundationally free uplifts all And the journey into your higher levels of consciousness happens that much faster, that much easier because it's so loud, right? We'll be sitting in that energy. It's so profoundly there that you are constantly in it. So when the classes are over, you would have spent a good hour in these energies to continue your navigation of as you continue to rise in consciousness to be like, oh, I know the difference between that old energy and who and what I really am. I had my own direct experience of it. So both of these classes are here to give you that anchor, that foundation to walk you through your journey of leaving 3D into 5D. The first class, class 1 with the Q&A is as we start the class, I'll be tuning into the energies in the moment, what's there, what's going on, how it's affecting you, and how you navigate the energies that are up and current, okay? Once we do that, I'm going to open up the Q&A. And the questions that you guys will ask will support the group as a whole because we are in a group power energy, right? And the questions are based on how to navigate your awakening, your embodiment, owning your truth, working with all the higher levels that you're moving into. And it's like a how to. Well, how do I, how do I move through something when X, Y, and Z is up? How do I know when I'm about to go into a third D fear-based energy, when I really need to just honor my truth? How do I be with other people that are having different experiences than me? I feel these feelings. How do I work with them now? So each question is there to ask from, to support you in an empowered way, to learn how to embody these new energies and anchor in them so profoundly that your own tools of how to do this really start to activate. And those are just an example of the types of questions that we want to ask. They're all based on how to navigate these times now with what you're going through and how it's coming up and how to deal with it in a way that you realize everything that is coming up in your life and in your situations is to empower you, is to embody you, is for you to know who you are. So it's the approach that matters more than ever now of how we approach our feelings, how we approach what's coming up for us, that empowers us, working with the new energies, working with the higher frequencies of how to live from those, right? And that's just the simple overview because when you guys ask your questions, that will then bring through the specific guidance and teachings and energies of the new ways, right? Class 2 is this deep steeping for an hour in mostly silence, steeping in your true self energy, where you are on your journey from 3D to 5D to really start steeping in 50, 60, 70, 80. And again, the fifth dimension is just the beginning of heart-based consciousness and living in a really foundational way. It's just the beginning. So when we say 50, 60, 70, 80, it's deeper heart, deeper truth, deeper spirituality, deeper effervescent, that the sacred magic of who you are. Each session will be really different because you'll be in a different spot in your journey. And so it's this deep steep, like a tea bag steeping in water, right? And the water gets colored by the tea bag. You'll be steeping in the energies of your true self, the attributes of your true self, the consciousness of your true self, and the higher frequencies, all anchoring your human in this journey that you are in your rise in consciousness, anchoring the mind, emotional body into the spiritual shift. having as you'll be steeping, you'll be having your own direct experiences of what this journey actually is that we're talking about, right? You'll have your own direct knowings of, oh, that's why I've been going through X, Y, and Z, or oh, that's what this fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth stuff is. Oh, you'll be having your own visceral understandings, and the power fields will continue activating and activating and activating you to embody who you are and the higher frequencies that you're going into. So, the whole reason for these classes right now is to walk you through this journey, leaving 3D into 5D and really anchoring this shift, anchoring your empowerment, anchoring your knowing, activating, activating, activating the truth that you know, you know, you know. And we do that through both the Q&A class and also the steeping class. So I think that's what I want to say. All the details of the classes are in the email. And as the classes are starting next week, I can definitely feel like, oh, it's time to do video now. Like the energy is really starting. And again, when we're in a group field like that, with every single person so dedicated to being the truth of who they are, it uplifts all and creates the whole journey to happen faster and easier. So this is really about anchoring you in who you are, activating who you are in profound ways to help walk you through this journey and make this journey very empowering and constantly feeling the truth that you know and embodying that. All right, my loves. So I will see you in our classes. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me and I will see you later. All right, my loves. Bye for now.